Everyone, come back here to not really new channel but new name like Tony the Lion Prince, right? So this time I'm going to rehash the past. I mean, like to rehash the story about Tommy from Cobra Kai, especially on a tribute to season two, right? Rest in peace, Rob Garrison too. So about Tommy, right? So there are something interesting stories that before 1994 is 1983. I guess it's the first time Tommy goes into high school with his friends too. And there is even a story that maybe some of Johnny's friends, Cobra Kai gangs, like uh, Dutch, maybe Jimmy, Jimmy Quiet One, and every one of them that maybe most of them are bullied too before they're going gang up together. Just like, but I don't think about Dutch because he's kind of dominating since in first place, and if he's going to the jail in Lombok, right, like in Cobra Kai season two. But Tommy is actually have crush on Ali Mills, Ali with an I, right? So they're in same homeroom, talk all the time. Then someone else struck first. So who struck first is Johnny Lawrence, as we know. So Johnny Lawrence just came like, and Tommy doesn't like about because he's scared of Johnny, but because he's like to maintain his friendship with Johnny and the other groups. I mean the other gangs, the other friends like Dutch, um, especially Johnny Lawrence, like Bobby, Tommy, and every one of them. So then Tommy joined up Cobra Kai to get the balls Johnny had, like just like on the campfires when Johnny and Tommy talking to each other before one day before like when the show must go on songs kick it up, and we know that's the tribute to the end of Tommy. But I think that's the characteristic. But let's not talk about that. I think it's that sensitive information. But let's talk about how Tommy gets sick in the first place. Let's get back on 1984 when Mr. Miyagi on the Halloween costumes, like full skin kid beaten up by skeletons is kind of logic, right? So they are beating up Daniel Russo, the full skin kid, beaten up by bunch of skeletons. Then some old guy coming up is Mr. Miyagi, then beaten up. But I don't even know that Tommy getting hit right on the face or not. I don't even know about that. I see that Johnny get punched on the chest and make his eyes black. I don't even know. And Dutch get hit on the sensitive areas, and Jimmy and Bobby is getting beaten like as usual. I think both of them kick or punch. I don't know. But Mr. Miyagi fights doesn't like Mr. Han that real more complicated. But I think it's it. But I think on the remake version it's more brutal. Like yeah, Chang, Dre Parker, or the 2010 version. But let's talk about 1984 version this time, okay? Especially about Tommy. But what really makes Tommy sick, I don't know. But I think this makes sense too if it's beaten by Mr. Miyagi that makes him brain damage. But he still keep his shot full, his aggression, and still Robert Kaiwa at the time. But I mean, especially he's still young, right? So he still can manage to keep up with his brain damage even until the tournament because pain is not exist in this dojo does it. Right? That's what's me confused that why Tommy, how Tommy really get brain damage about that. Really. But then again, on the campfire scenes, we get emotional, inspiring scenes about how Tommy just keep telling Johnny, but not only Johnny but also us to keep do anything what we want to do without feeling afraid about it because we still have time, right? That's all. Then he spends all his time with his friends, beating some stoic guys like doesn't have any kind of goals, just to uh, pick up with some guys like Tommy. I think Tommy's not really bad guy. I don't think Cobra Kai is all just misunderstood by Sensei Kreese, and Sensei Kreese misunderstood by what's the name? Captain Turner, right? That guy, and Captain Turner get misunderstood by blah blah blah. Let's just keep relying it. Like I never know about that. Yeah, just about that. And how about Karate Kid remake is I think Karate Kid remake is doesn't really bad at all, but it's focused more on choreographic rather than storyline. The Karate Kid, the old version, the way of the 80s, they aren't like flips. I know Johnny Lawrence has keep up on the scene of the tournament, but there aren't so much like on a 2010 version like backflip, sidekick, like rolling up sleeves or anything like that, front flip or every kind that's beautiful movement, and actually more damaging. you know that Chang and his gang basically, and one of them that like the new version of Bobby that makes sense to to keep enough to keep beating Trey Parker up. I mean they're like middle school but more brutal than 17 years old in high school. Right? I don't even know about that. And Mr. Han is not as invisible as Mr. Miyagi. Because Mr. Miyagi is I don't even know, but Mr. Miyagi is learning too. Not I mean not he's all born and just becomes like that, right? I mean, of course he says beaten up, but it just not doesn't show enough on the movie. That's all. That's all the only problem, right? So I hope on the season 6 there is scene about Mr. Miyagi because we know that it's possible to keep rest in peace Noriyoki Pat Morita to keep on the scene as his younger self. Although we know that sorry damn just skip to doing something worth to do, right? So let's just continue, right? Although we know that Johnny Lawrence has CGI scene about young Johnny Lawrence when John Kreese has some kind of psychological problem, like, right? But it's impossible for Mr. Miyagi too. Um, for Mr. Miyagi, I don't even know, but let's just check on see on the season 6 because we see too on the season 5 when Chojin Toguchi when he's training like on the sand with U.S. military armies. I don't even know that's on Vietnam War. I guess I don't even know about that, but I guess that I think that's all I'm gonna say. Keep watching Cobra Kai. It's really inspiring. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.